Reuben Ingram, who's the Prime Minister, addressed the country on the 10th of November. In that statement, he was supposed to tell us what he planned to do for the Bahamas during this present economic crisis. Instead, all we got was a description of the problem. It adversely affects my constituents. And what I'd like to do today is to give some kind of response to where we ought to be going, the things he did not say, the gap which we have in this economy, which is going to cause serious problems for us as we go through the next year. Well, this area of my constituency is an area which is built up since 2002. And between 2002 and 2007, an area which was all coppice or forest between St. Augustine's College and the Fox Hill Village is now all homes. And these homes, about 200 of them, were built up by either the Smith brothers at Gold Circle or by Mr. Franklin Wilson in Arawak Homes. I would say 80% of the people in this area work for Atlantis or are involved in some way with the tourism sector. The difficulty that we now face, given what Mr. Ingram said, is that the sector is reducing. And you know that some 800 people have lost their jobs at Atlantis, 150 more from Harborside, and another couple of hundred from Bahamas at Cable Beach. So I'm concerned how that's going to impact people within this constituency and this area in particular. People stand to lose their homes if they don't have any income, and Mr. Ingram offered no solutions for that issue. I have some ideas about what we can do. So the ideas I have are these. The Prime Minister's statement did not address the question of jobs. How do you protect jobs? And how do you create jobs? And how do you keep people in jobs? Secondly, he didn't address the question of how do you help people who are going to run into problems paying their mortgages. Now, my own feeling is, let's take Grand Bahama. The Hotel Corporation should use its monies so that the monies can buy the hotel, the closed hotel Royal Oasis in Grand Bahama, and then that hotel can be rebuilt, refurbished, and people be put back to work in Grand Bahama. Some 1,200 jobs can be started up again in Grand Bahama. And then in New Providence, with regard to homes and people who are losing their homes because they're unable to pay for their mortgages any further or any more. And that is something which Alcott Colby has suggested, and he ran for chairman of the PLP. And he said, why don't we come up with something called a Community Investments Act? That Community Investment Act will buy these mortgages off the private banks, slash the payments in half, and then when the market gets better, the government will then be able to sell those mortgages back to the private sector. But in the meantime, those people who are having difficulty paying for their homes will have an easier time of it because the payments will be less. I think those are two good ideas, and it concentrates on jobs and protecting people in their homes. That's what the Prime Minister ought to have addressed. He did not address it, and that's a major concern for me here in the Fox Hill constituency. And I think the PLP ought to be helping to frame the debate by providing these kinds of ideas as this economy worsens. So the main engine of our economy, tourism, is in a problem. The Prime Minister addresses the country. He doesn't have solutions. All he can do is describe the problem. So what I'm trying to do by this short presentation is to say the PLP has some ideas. And me, as the representative for Fox Hill, I'm concerned about the people in my area. So I have some ideas to help them through this crisis. We need to fix the mortgage issue, help people save their homes. We need to deal with the question of people who are losing their jobs and get a job-producing program going. And then we need to try and fix the tourism sector. The point is that the PLP needs to help frame the debate. We need to put our ideas into the mix because the people need the PLP to become the next government. And these ideas are put forward just so we can help frame that debate and make a contribution toward the pool of ideas so that we can become the government again. It is the right thing to do. We need a bipartisan program of all of us coming together. It is the right thing to do. It is the best thing to do. It is the PLP thing to do. And as I say, like we end all things, PLP all the way.